I'm Jeff Schutz, owner and executive director of the Neurovation Center in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a senior clinical fellow, board certified in neurofeedback. I've been doing neurofeedback since 2012. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about neurofeedback, which is something I love. So people ask me all the time, what is neurofeedback? I like to think of neurofeedback as fitness for your brain. In the same way that working out, of exercising your muscles over and over again enhances its performance, doing that with your brain also enhances its performance. So we set up a system where we can provide feedback to your brain to help it actually train itself, to make itself grow stronger, fitter, and healthier. People ask me all the time, where does neurofeedback fit in the mental health world? Well, the reality is a lot of folks come in and they've tried mental health counseling, and I'm a fan of mental health counseling. We do it in our office. And yet at the same point, a lot of folks are coming in and it hasn't quite helped with the symptoms. And then on the other side, we've got folks that have done medication management. And okay, there's nothing wrong with taking medications, and yet they're not always getting to the root. The reason is that they both deal with something each well, but there's something in the middle that they're not dealing with. And what we've discovered is that neurofeedback actually fits into that niche. Neurofeedback actually addresses not the care of the soul or the care of the chemistry. It addresses the care of the actual functioning of the human brain, which speaks its own language. See, it speaks the language of electricity. Every thought you have, every experience you have, every sense that you have, every emotion you have is mediated through an electrical current. And through the use of our technology, we're able to actually speak brain. We can listen to what your brain is saying about stress and anxiety, and then we can actually speak back to it and help it to learn from its own rhythms by changing those rhythms, how to deal with and address the very problems that are causing you issues in your mental health. Neurofeedback is able flexibly to be adapted for use in treating anything from generalized anxiety disorder to ADHD, to PTSD, to bipolar, you name it. If there's a diagnosis that you find in the DSM, we're able to treat it. However, I'm going to give a little caveat to that. The reality is that we're not interested in finding the right category and treating the category. Why? Because with the technology that we have, we can actually see what's beneath all of those diagnoses. We're much more interested in the symptoms than we are with the diagnoses, because we can see the biomarkers. We can see the actual root cause of your anxiety. And it's not just that you have anxiety. There's at least 12 different ways that we can see your brain dysregulate, and we'll figure out exactly which type it is. When it comes to ADHD, same thing. We don't just look at a diagnosis of ADHD, we're able to break it down into each one of its component parts and figure out exactly where it's coming from, whether executive function, impulse control, hyperactivity, focus or concentration issues. We can get right to the root of that, figure out exactly where it is. And as interesting as it is to be able to figure out where it's coming from, to assess it, to assess that function of your brain, the better news is that we can actually train it, treat it, and shift it. So in the same way that there are no two yous, that no two personalities are completely alike, the same is true of the human brain. In fact, every human brain has an electrical signature that's like a fingerprint, except infinitely more so. At the Neurovation Center, we specialize in taking the time to figure out exactly what makes the fingerprint of your brain. See, our goal is not just to help you to cope with the symptoms that you're struggling with. Our goal is not to cover it over. Our goal is actually to deal with them, to treat them, to get them to a place where they're no longer a significant problem in your life. And in order to do that, we want to make sure that we know you, that we know your brain. So everything that we do, we try to make highly precise, highly personal, and ultimately, we create treatment plans that are targeted to address exactly what you're struggling with the most. So if what I've said so far resonates with you, I'd love to invite you to reach out and contact us. We'll take an hour of time. We'll go over all the things that are concerning you, the challenges that you're facing in your life, and we'll be glad to talk more about neurofeedback, answer any questions you may have, address any of the concerns you might have, and all of that is free of charge. I hope I get a chance to do that with you personally. If not, one of my trained clinicians will do that. But the point is, we'd love to get a chance just to meet you. We'd love to get a chance to talk to you and find out how we might make a difference, bringing hope, healing, and wholeness into your life.